Good evening, you're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Joanna Ho. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Hong Kong's biggest outdoor party gets into full swing and without any COVID curbs. Hong Kong's women make their World Series debut but lose both matches. And controversy continues over cheap tour packages from the mainland. Just 4 months after it was last staged, the Hong Kong Sevens is back. But this time there were no COVID restrictions for the city's biggest open-air party, as at least 23,000 revelers flocked to the Hong Kong Stadium for a weekend of rugby and fun. This year's Rugby Sevens, which kicked off this morning, is the first large-scale international sports event in Hong Kong since the city returned to normality after COVID. Although there was slight rain, the thousands of fans in the Hong Kong Stadium enjoyed themselves to the fullest without having to follow any COVID restrictions.
I think it's great. Like, really, that's what we need. You know, a lot of people here have no masks. It feels pretty normal. We can eat, can drink, and do anything we want. We moved here from New Zealand, so we're definitely here to watch the Kiwis play.
This fan said the atmosphere was very different.
Feels weird that I don't have to wear a mask or do the Leave Home Safe app. I feel okay. It's nice to see that Hong Kong's opening back out and that my friends and my family from all over the world can come and visit and watch the game as well.
Sticking to tradition, fans dressed up in eye-catching costumes to soak in the electrifying atmosphere. These Mexicans from Britain said the rain did not bother them.
They're Mexican costume, yeah. He loves tacos. It's good for the weather, don't get wet. In England, it rains every day, so here, perfect.
The organizers expect more than 30,000 people to turn up each day this weekend. It was a dismal World Series debut for Hong Kong's women team. They were thrashed by New Zealand, but got their first points in their loss to Canada. Sachin Kafi reports.
It was a baptism of fire for the Hong Kong women as they made their debut in the World Series. There was plenty of support from the home crowd, but they had a mountain to climb against former champions New Zealand. The Kiwis wasted no time with Stacey Walker making a solo dash from the flank in the first minute. Midway through the first half, New Zealand turned on the aggressive mode and never looked back. Walker made easy work for her second try with another clean run, and New Zealand were 17-0 up. Captain Sarah Harini made it through the canyon on the whistle to give the Kiwis a 26-0 lead at the break. There was no respite for Hong Kong in the second half as New Zealand continued their assault and finished with a convincing 15-0 victory. Canada lost to Great Britain in their opening game, conceding just one try, and were hoping to get back on track when they took on Hong Kong.
Spanish knock-on in the tackle.
Julia Greenshields scored for Canada after breaking from the scrum. With Hong Kong's attack missing, Canadian captain Brian Nichols made it 10-0 at halftime. History was made when Saving Q barreled through the Canadian defense to score Hong Kong's first try of the tournament. But Canada replied immediately with Chrissy Scurfield extending their lead. Tasha Thompson fired the last salvo in the dying moments, giving Canada a 22-5 victory. Sachin Katwi, HKIBC.
Hong Kong Rugby Union Chief Executive Robbie McRobbie expressed excitement on hosting the Sevens without COVID restrictions, just months after the last event when some curbs were in force. He said there was a significant increase in fans from overseas.
November was a great event and we were delighted to see it back, but this time, after day one already, the whole stadium is really buzzing. It's quite emotional, really. Last year, there were very few overseas visitors because we still had quite a few travel restrictions in place. This year, the numbers have picked up considerably. They're not back to pre-COVID levels, but they're very encouraging. And I think that also we're sending a very important message to our international fans that the Sevens is back. And if they don't make it this year, then we very much hope to see them next year in 2024.
McRobbie did not give the exact number of overseas visitors, but said at least 20% of the total number of public tickets sold this year were purchased from overseas, compared to only a handful last year. More rugby later. In other news, the Travel Industry Council has warned against any move to ban cheap tour groups from the mainland. This follows complaints from residents of some districts that the large number of visitors is an annoyance. Chloe Feng has the details.
Some one-day tours of Hong Kong cost the mainlanders as little as 99 yuan. Visitors get to see the Avenue of Stars, the Peak, and the Golden Bohemian Square and enjoy a Chinese-style seafood meal. But the residents of To Kwa Wan and Hong Kong complain that large crowds in their districts caused inconvenience. Some lawmakers are pushing the Travel Industry Authority to regulate cheap tours. According to sources, travel agencies have been asked to declare their fees and itineraries. The authority plans to collect the information over 4 weeks before considering whether to regulate tours that charge what it thinks is too little. The law allows the Travel Industry Authority to ban cheap tours from the mainland. But such an extreme move has been frowned on by the Travel Industry Council. Executive Director Fanny Yuan said this would deprive low-income mainlanders of an opportunity to visit Hong Kong. We've been promoting the Hello Hong Kong campaign to welcome all tourists, she said, arguing that the SAR cannot claim to be hospitable if it excludes certain groups. Speaking on his return from the Boao conference in Hainan, Chief Executive Zhang Li said he attaches great importance to this issue. He added that the government will closely monitor the situation to ensure that the revival of the tourism sector does not inconvenience local residents. Chloe Feng, HKIBC.
Overseas, former U.S. President Donald Trump will be charged over payments to a porn star before the 2016 election. He will be arraigned in court on Tuesday, becoming the first former White House occupant to face criminal charges. Azam Khan reports.
God bless the USA!
Loyal supporters of former U.S. President Donald Trump gathered outside his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, waving flags and insisting that their idol is the victim of a political witch hunt. The rally came after the reality TV star turned politician was indicted by a grand jury in New York for his alleged part in hush money payments to porn actress Stormy Daniels. In 2016, Daniels tried to reveal her past affair with Trump to the media. But the billionaire's team got wind of the attempt, and his lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid $130,000 to Daniels to keep quiet. That was not illegal, but when Trump reimbursed Cohen, the record for the payment showed it was for legal fees. Prosecutors said that amounted to the 76-year-old falsifying business records, which is a criminal offense in New York. The indictment case makes Trump the first former U.S. president to face a criminal charge. He has denied any wrongdoing, describing the indictment as political persecution, and predicted that it would damage the Democrats in next year's presidential race. Trump will fly to New York on Tuesday, when the charges will be read to him in court. Azam Khan, HKIBC.
The widely anticipated shopping boom finally arrived last month when Hong Kong's retail sales soared as tourist numbers surged. Official figures valued the sales at $33.1 billion. Purchases jumped 31.3% from a year ago, sharply higher than the 7% gain in January. February's figure was more than double market estimates. Jewelry, watches, clocks, and valuable gifts were among the most favorable items, with their sales jumping over 62% year-on-year. The government attributed the surge to improved consumer sentiment and a sharp rebound in visitor arrivals. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed up 90 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tencent was up 80 cents, Alibaba up $3.50. Tracker Fund up 6 cents, Hong Kong Exchange up $5.60. To the forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, euros at 8.54, pounds at 9.71, and Australian dollar at 5.26. Over to the UK market, FTSE 100 is up 18 points. There are mixed signals on China's recovery in the post-pandemic era. Non-manufacturing activity this month grew at the fastest pace in 12 years. Construction and transportation were boosted by the lifting of COVID curbs. The Official Services Purchasing Managers Index jumped almost 2 points to 58.2. By contrast, factory activity expanded at a slower pace, with the manufacturing PMI easing slightly to 51.9. On to the weather now. Cloudy with a few light showers tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 20 and 23 degrees, continuing cloudy in the following 2 days. That's our main news for Friday night. Join us for more news at 11. That's the last time for me. I'm Joanna Ho. Thanks for watching. Good night.